You are watching The Story. Every Monday, we bring you a deep dive into the fascinating lives of incredible people. The real story of the richest dog in the world. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. Hello, Aluxers, and welcome back. Have you ever been envious of a dog's life? Eating, sleeping, playing fetch, being spoiled? Sounds pretty great, right? Well, just imagine if you had the life of a dog that inherited millions of dollars along with a staff whose sole purpose is to ensure he's living the best life no matter the cost. That's the story we're going to tell you today. It involves Madonna, a $1 million truffle, an eccentric corporation, incredible luxury, and a dog named Gunther. This is the real story of the richest dog in the world. But first, let's talk about the person behind this fortune. Who is Carlotta Liebenstein? Carlotta Liebenstein was a German countess who had a multi-million-dollar fortune. She never had any children, but cherished her pet dogs throughout her lifetime. Carlotta passed away in 1992. At the time, she had no close family to share her fortune with, except for her dog, Gunther III, and she made sure he would be well taken care of for the rest of his life. She willed her entire fortune of $80 million to him. When Gunther III passed away, the inheritance was passed along to his son, Gunther IV. Over the years, Gunther's caretakers have accumulated even more wealth for the dog through strategic investments and surprising ventures. And today, the dog has a net worth of $373 million. By the way, Gunther IV is supposedly 28 years old today, but the average lifespan of a German Shepherd is 10 to 13 years, so it's likely he's actually Gunther V or VI by now. But the dog is still referred to as Gunther IV. Now we've gone over some background, let's take a closer look at what happens when the owner leaves a large sum of money to their pets. How it works. When a pet owner leaves an inheritance for their pet or pets, that money is typically put into a trust. A designated trustee is put in charge of the money and can determine how and when it gets paid out. Then there's a primary caretaker who looks after the pet and requires payment for their services and all related expenses from the trustee. There's also an enforcer who ensures the trust is being managed properly and the funds are used only in the interest of the dog, cat, bird, or whatever other pet won the owner lottery. The enforcer could be named in the will or could be court-appointed, but what happens to the leftover money after the pet dies? Typically, the owner determines that in the will, and the money is usually donated to a charity or specific individual. In Gunther's case, the money is passed on to the offspring of the dog. There have been cases where the pet has died, but the caretaker doesn't want to lose their salary and other benefits, so they secretly try to buy a new animal to replace the one that's passed away. For this reason, pet owners have started putting time limits on how long the trustee can withdraw money from the trust. Now let's take a look at how Gunther's money is being handled. The Gunther Corporation. Gunther's wealth is in a trust that's managed by the Gunther Corporation, which Gunther is the CEO of. It doesn't appear that they are very limited in how they spend or invest Gunther's money. Although the purpose of the corporation is to ensure that Gunther is taken care of, they have used this money in a number of unusual ways. For example, they put together a theater show called The Burgundians, which toured in South Florida in 1999. They spent millions of dollars producing a television musical called The Global Revolution, which aired once on Italian television. In 2006, they purchased the Pontedera Football Club, an Italian association football club in Tuscany. Officially, Gunther is the owner of the football club and all other assets of the Gunther Corporation. This includes a number of properties that have been purchased in his name. Where he lives. Gunther owns a number of properties, including several villas in Italy, properties in the Bahamas, and a German estate. His highest profile purchase came in 2000 when he purchased a $7.5 million mansion from Madonna in Miami. What's more, the Gunther Corporation also looked into buying Sylvester Stallone's $27 million Miami villa before deciding on Madonna's mansion. The 7,000 square foot Mediterranean-style home has 9 bedrooms and 8.5 bathrooms. It was purchased by a group that called themselves the Burgundians, who revealed Gunther as their mystery investor in a press conference after the sale was finalized. When in Miami, Gunther mainly stays in the master bedroom, while the rest of the house is rented out for movie and television shoots. This is just one way that Gunther's net worth steadily increases. Now, let's take a look at how this wealth is spent in Gunther's daily life. Day-to-day life. Gunther is waited on paw and foot constantly. He has a personal maid who cleans up after him in addition to a butler who attends to his every need along with many other caretakers. A typical day might see him taking a swim in his customized pool, taking a dive in his luxurious limousine, eating the finest steaks, caviar, and truffles, relaxing in one of his many enviable estates, drinking the finest bottled waters, and perhaps going to the spa or a high-end groomer. He even goes to the occasional auction. In 2001, Gunther, along with 2 of his staff, showed up at a high-dollar auction in northern Italy. He even successfully bid on something, a $1.1 million truffle. Gunther, as you can imagine, also has round-the-clock security. You can definitely say that Gunther is living the good life as the world's richest dog. But before we wrap this up, let's take a look at some other animals who've inherited incredible wealth from their owners. Other rich pets. While Gunther is definitely the wealthiest animal, a number of other animals have been given substantial inheritances by their owners who passed away. In 2011, Maria Assunta, the widow of an Italian real estate investor, left her cat Tommaso $13 million. Tommaso had previously been a stray cat she rescued from the streets of Rome. British antique dealer Ben Ray left nearly his entire $12.5 million estate to his cat Blackie when he passed away in 1988. In 2007, billionaire real estate mogul Leona Hemsley left her dog Trouble with a $12 million trust fund after she passed on. Meanwhile, 2 of her 4 granddaughters were left out of the will entirely. A judge ruled that the $12 million was excessive and dropped the amount down to $2 million. In 2001, publishing magnate Miles Blackwell left $10 million to his pet named Gigu. We promise we're not making this up. And the final pet inheritance we'll mention is Bubbles the chimpanzee. You may recognize Bubbles as he was owned by Michael Jackson. He left him $2 million to be taken care of after his death. The quote. While we're on the topic of dogs, we thought we'd share a famous dog-inspired quote from Dwight Eisenhower that goes like this. What counts is not necessarily the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. Just a quick reminder that whatever weakness you think you have, it can likely be overcome by determination, perseverance, and the will to fight for what you want. And also on the dog theme, we'd like to recommend the book called Top Dog: The Science of Winning and Losing. In this interesting book, New York Times bestselling authors Poe Bronson and Ashley Merriman offer insights on how to triumph while avoiding tragic failures. Their advice is backed by cutting-edge science and is gleaned from successes in a wide range of areas, including politics, military training, sports, technology, and more. This popular book costs over $28, but if you go to alux.com/freebook and sign up, if it's your first time, you get the audiobook for free thanks to our partnership with Audible. Question. Now that we're wrapping up this story, we'd like to know, do you think wealthy people leaving millions of dollars to their pets is thoughtful or going overboard? Let us know what you think in the comments. And of course, for sticking with us until the end, here's your bonus. Oprah absolutely loves dogs, and she owns at least 5 of them herself. Around 2007, she rewrote her will to include a $50 million inheritance for her dogs, so they could be taken care of if they outlive her. Her longtime boyfriend, Stedman, on the other hand, was left out of the will completely. Thank you for spending some time with us, A-Luxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question on our website, alux.com. Thank you for being an A-Luxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.